In a new op-ed, our next guest argues communist China is the biggest threat facing our country and accuses Joe Biden of being, quote, asleep at the wheel.
Right. Well, we know where he is, actually. GOP Senator Marco Rubio joins us now. Senator, so you know the new news. It's they have basically surrounded the island. They're doing these exercises, and there's a fear that they're going to be, for the first time ever, they're going to shoot rockets over the island. Your thoughts?
Well, they've already launched rockets that have hit east of the Taiwan Straits. So they put some barge out there or something, or some target point, and they launch it. I said this last night. I tweeted it out. I think you're going to see China launch rockets over Taiwan. I think you're going to see jets, potentially military airplanes, fly over Taiwan. And I think part of this is messaging, but I think part of it is to send a very clear signal to leaders in Taiwan and to military leaders in Taiwan, and that is, if we decide to take you by force, you won't be able to stop us, and therefore you might as well begin to negotiate with us the terms of your surrender. I think there's no doubt about it that that's going to happen. I warned that last night, and what I said in my tweet last night was, when we watch these things happen, not to mention the fact that they now have 2 aircraft carriers and they're both deployed off the coast of Taiwan, when we see these things happen, remember that our civilian leaders in the Pentagon have spent the last 2 years focused very seriously on the proper use of pronouns and ensuring that we host the right number of drag queen shows at different military bases around the world.
And kicking out the unvaccinated.
And kicking out the unvaccinated, and now the recruitment numbers are down because a lot of the working class families who are the backbone of our recruitment efforts, these are the people that have for decades sent their sons and daughters to defend our country. They're not interested in joining some woke social experiment organization. So it's very sad. I hope it's a wake-up call that we begin to reallocate resources and attention to the right things and to our military capabilities in the Pacific.
Senator, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, we're all thinking about her family. This morning she died in that head-on collision. 2 people were in the car with her, her comms director, Emma Thompson. She was only 28 years old, and I know that she worked on your presidential campaign in 2016. We just wanted to get your reaction this morning.
Yeah, Emma was a fantastic young woman. She was actually responsible for putting out our press releases and during the presidential campaign. She also coordinated all the logistics for our traveling press team. And as you know, when you're running for president, you're hitting 5 cities in a day, so that's a lot of work. And she was a fantastic young woman. She worked really hard, always taking notes, always listening, trying to learn. She was like a sponge of absorbing information. It really is a very sad loss, obviously, as well as the Congresswoman and her other staffer that died yesterday. It's a terrible tragedy, and our hearts go out to her family, and we pray that she'll have eternal peace.
We appreciate that sentiment this morning. Senator, you have joined a group of GOP senators who have sent a letter to Secretary Mayorkas expressing concern about our southern border, specifically the infiltration of our southern border that has led to the opportunity and the realization, as we've seen on a month-to-month basis, of people on the terror watch list coming into the United States. And again, those are only the ones that are caught. What can you share with us this morning about what's happening on our southern border and its threat to our national security?
Yeah, look, anytime you have a highly publicized, well-known vulnerability in terms of entry into a country, that becomes a magnet for people that aren't supposed to be coming. Now, I don't know what the right figure is, but are 99.99% of the people that are entering the United States illegally just coming because their life is miserable wherever they come from? Yeah, I would accept that. The problem is you only need 1, 2, 3, or 4, or a handful of terrorists to carry out some pretty horrible things. This is a known vulnerability. And I would say that in an era in which we've gotten very good at identifying people who are trying to fly into this country who shouldn't be coming in, we've gotten better at that. You now have an incentive. And as you've pointed out, the people we know about are the ones that are turning themselves in for apprehension or the ones that are caught. But we know for a fact that there are people entering the country every day, and we don't know who they are. And there's great concern about that vulnerability. And the people who now control the border are a bunch of cartels and trafficking networks who are more than happy to facilitate the travel of anyone. They don't care if they're terrorists or whatever. So it's a very real vulnerability, and one we should be taking very seriously.
Senator, what the crazy thing is about this issue, the Democrats don't push back. They just don't say anything. So they don't even want to engage on it. I've never seen a major issue that relates to national security where an entire party that happens to be in power won't even address it, won't see it outside Henry Cuellar. How do you fight somebody that doesn't want to show up?
Well, I think the point is it is showing up in the lives of everyday people. I mean, if you took a list of the things that people are worried about today, like right now at this moment, people that are on their way to work or what have you, and you compare it to the list of the things that we're focused on in Washington, they're upside down. We are not focused on the right priorities, and that's a big problem. And the way to take care of it is called elections.
I hear you. I know you got a tough one to keep that seat if Val Demings is running against you, but you're running strong. Senator Marco Rubio, thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, coming